And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hi folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Vast the Fearsome Foes. This is a bit of a quick overview of this because I'm hesitant to talk about this game, Vast, which has so much complexity and entertainment. Vast the Crystal Caverns is a game I really like. Came out a couple years ago at Gen Con, I think 2 years ago to the day actually. Vast is a game in which there are 5 very distinct different roles. One person is playing a knight trying to kill a dragon. The dragon is just trying to get out of the cave. There's some goblins trying to kill the knight. There's a thief trying to steal from everyone. And then one person plays the cave trying to collapse it on everyone and win. Each of the players has very different victory conditions. Well, here we have an expansion which adds the ghoul, the ghost, and the unicorn. 3 more very distinct roles, some of which you can add, others of which you replace, and even one which you can play as like an NPC for if you're going to play solo games or things like that. Here's a little bit of a look at each of these which can be added separately. First thing I want to say when we're going over these is that I'm going to give very cursory overviews of these. I'm not going to get into the details of them for a lot of reasons, but mostly because there's a lot of complications and I don't want to mess up what you do. So just kind of an idea. The first module here, or the first guy you can add in, is the ghoul or the vile ghoul. The vile ghoul is essentially replaces the goblins, while the ghoul you could play a 6-player game. Don't play a 6-player game, but you could, or you can just replace somebody with the ghoul. If you're going to replace someone with the ghoul, I'd recommend to just do the goblins anyway. The ghoul, whose pieces are here, this game includes plastic in case you're using the miniatures expansion, or you can use the stand-up if you don't like the wooden piece. The ghoul has dice, yay dice, and his job is to increase his fury. So he's going to be keeping track of fury on his board, and essentially the ghoul's going to go around and attack people. His dice, well, he'll be rolling dice, and he's going to be trying to, well, that's a pretty good thing, I guess. One of them is going to be used for his movement points, and the other is going to be used for strength tokens, which you'll be using here to attack players. When you attack players, you'll be hurting them in various ways, and there's a rule for each one. But your fury will go up each time you attack. You can even attack smash crystals in the thing, or if you get 2 treasures, your fury will go up. Once his fury is up to whatever it needs to be, in a normal game it's 7 plus the number of players, and again, these come with difficulty cards to make them easier or, harder, and then get out of the cave. Now, if he rolls less than 7 total each turn, he'll also get to draw these cards. These cards, like once per turn, he gets a movement, and also once per game, 4 movement, but once you use it, it's gone. So he gets an attack every turn. I actually think the ghoul is one of the easier ones to play in this game. He's also going to make the game a little bit more aggro because he's going to be running around attacking people. The vile ghoul is slightly different because of the dice. It's a little less random as you're moving these dice around, and you still have the terror cards and attack and defense, but your goal now is just to kill the knight. Unless there is no knight, then your goal is to kill the dragon. I personally prefer the ghoul to the vile ghoul, but I would replace the goblins with him. The ghost is a more complex character to play. At the beginning of the game, you're going to be putting some possessed cards into a pile that you have based on the other roles that are in the game, plus a ghost one. And over the course of the game, you'll be able to possess and move for these guys and do different things. You're going to be giving artifact tokens to the other players, and you're trying to get those and lock those down on specific tiles. However, they can mess you up by mentally blocking you, and there's different ways that they can do that. Each of them can come across. Your focus is going to change your movement and your influence. And there's also some new cave tiles that show where you can lock these ghost things down, these artifacts in. Like I said, it's a little more complex. You can actually add this to any number of players, making the game up to 7. Don't go to 7. And this is one, I'm not a fan of this character at all. I don't like someone else controlling my character. This one's a little bit more complex than the other ones. There's also the cave ghost, and this is a little odd to me because as the Vile Ghoul and the Ghoul are fairly similar, the Cave Ghost and the Ghost are fairly different. The Cave Ghost replaces the cave, and it's a lot closer to the cave than it is to the Ghost. Although this is a pretty cool board, and you have like cool different things that you can do. I could see this one here replacing the cave, like where you're like, I'd rather play the Cave Ghost than the cave. There's just some interesting things that you can do, and it gives the cave a little bit of flavor in the theming. The Nightmare Unicorn is even a little bit more complex, I think, than the other ones. For him, your goal is to get 9 radiance on here, and then to escape the cave. Now, the unicorn is kind of running around. He's going to be getting radiance by doing different actions. He can attack people. Everyone else can attack him. He has a very unique way of teleportation using these cards. Sometimes the unicorn is going to be forced to teleport. Often the unicorn just moves in a straight line. Some of these things make the unicorn angry. The unicorn has an anger track. You can spend 2 of these to teleport on your own. So you're going to be teleporting. You're going to be moving along, and basically quickly of displacement blasts. You're going to be attacking other people, having them attack you, and just trying to get this 9 radiance and then get out of the cave. You don't have to wake up like the dragon, but you're also going to have to run around and probably explore parts of the cave for other players. There's also the Shadow Unicorn. I have not played with this one. There's a multiplayer variant, but this is mostly, as far as I can tell, here just to play a solo game. You play against the Shadow Unicorn, and your job is to kill the Shadow Unicorn. It's going to have very specific things that it does. It's going to be coming after you. You can add it into a multiplayer game, and then one person will change their goal to killing the unicorn. If you play with different players, you might have to do some change-ups. There's some minor changes in the setup when you go against the unicorn, but that's what the Shadow Unicorn is. Mostly for solo play, I think. The components for the game are good, as the original components for Vast were. Like I said, it comes with miniatures. I really like the unicorn miniature, and it's very easy to tell here, like, hey, this is all for I keep wanting to call it the ghoul. No, it is the ghoul. And this is for the ghosts. And you have the ones for the different creatures, but they're easy to tell because of their color, the tiles and everything. So it's easy to sort them out. I would bag them all separately. Although the game does come with a plastic insert that even holds the 3 plastic miniatures here, and then all the different stuff in the other spots. Components for this are quite good. You know, funnily enough, when I played Vast is a really unique, great, fun game. Although it's kind of being beat by its successor, Root, for me these days. But Vast has all this cool complexity and how each person's asymmetrical. It's a hard game to teach, for sure, but there's a lot going on in it. One thing I didn't think when I played Vast was I wish there was more rolls. I really didn't. But yes, now there's 3 more. I would only recommend it. I mean, I'm recommending it. Fine, it's great, it's cool, it's neat, but I only recommend it for experienced Vast players. If you play Vast, you're like, that's interesting, I want more. Then play Vast for a while first, until you get all those different roles down. Try a different role in Vast, because the ghoul is not that complex, but the ghost and the unicorn are. I feel like both of those are more complex than anything that's in the regular Vast, and I don't think everything in Vast is that simple. The cave is fairly simple. The knight and the dragon aren't too complex, but the goblins are a little complex, and I feel like the thief is complex. But even the ghouls is like on par with the other stuff. If you want a more interactive game, not that the game wasn't interactive as it was, but you want an even more interactive with attacking and stuff, well, I mean, you got your ghoul and your unicorn. They're going to go around and whoop up on people, and the ghost is going to possess you. If I was ranking the 5 roles, I mean the 8 roles as my favorite, I don't know. I really do like the ghouls. I don't know where the ghost and the unicorn rank, but they probably wouldn't be up in my top ones. Just because, again, I wanted, not the unicorn. I just don't, not the ghost either. I especially don't like playing against the ghost, I guess. But still, more variety, more stuff. A lot of people are going to like that. So that's what's in Vast, the Fearsome Foes. Yeah, we'll leave that one in. Dice Tower Judgment, approved for fans of Vast.